In the popular imagination, black wealth in America has a specific geography. It's the gated communities of Atlanta's Buckhead. It's the entertainment boardrooms of Los Angeles. It's the brownstones of Harlem. But while the world has been watching those cities, the tectonic plates of economic power have shifted. A new capital is rising, quietly, steadily, and with a ferocity that is reshaping the American South. We are talking about North Carolina. From the banking towers of Charlotte to the biotech labs of the Research Triangle, North Carolina has re-emerged as the true Black Mecca of the 21st century. This isn't a new phenomenon. It is a resurrection. This is the state that gave birth to Black Wall Street in Durham, long before the term was popularized elsewhere. It is a state where Black land ownership, education, and enterprise have deep, resilient roots. But today, that legacy has evolved. It is no longer just about barbershops and funeral homes. It is about global staffing agencies, Grammy-winning empires, biotech innovation, and billion-dollar portfolios. The women we are tracking today are not just participants in this economy. They are its architects. They are the women who took the red clay of the Tar Heel state and turned it into gold. They are battling in industries as diverse as vegan cosmetics, heavy manufacturing, gospel music, and global HR. Some you know from the screen, others you have never heard of, even though they likely sign the paychecks of people you know. These are the 10 richest Black women in North Carolina. Number 10. The New Guard, Lori Jones, and Diamond Weems, the architects of the micro-empire. To understand the sheer velocity of Black wealth in North Carolina, we cannot start at the top. We must start at the foundation, the explosion of the millionaire next-door class that is currently defining cities like Raleigh and Charlotte. In the last decade, Charlotte has ranked among the top cities in the nation for the growth of women-owned firms, and leading that charge is a new generation of entrepreneurs who are flipping the script on retail and service. Take Lori Jones, the force behind Blackology Coffee Company. Jones represents the modern NC hustle, a pivot from corporate stability to ownership. In a state with a deep agricultural history, Jones didn't just open a coffee shop, she built a supply chain. By focusing on ethically sourced beans and creating a brand that explicitly centers Black joy and community, she tapped into the Buy Black movement not as a charity, but as a premium market segment. Her wealth is being built on scalability, moving from direct-to-consumer to wholesale, placing her product in major retailers and corporate offices across the Triangle. Parallel to her is Diamond Weems, the CEO of Lip & Pour in Charlotte. Weems saw a gap in the multi-billion-dollar beauty industry: customization. While major brands were fighting over shelf space, Weems built an experience economy, allowing customers to handcraft their own cosmetics. It's a franchise-ready model that blends retail, entertainment, and manufacturing. These women are not billionaires yet, but they represent the most dangerous kind of wealth, the kind that is young, liquid, and rapidly expanding. They are the proof that North Carolina's soil is fertile ground for those who know how to plant. Number 9. Rhapsody, Marlana Evans, the lyrical investor. When we talk about hip-hop wealth, the conversation usually drifts to Jay-Z's billions or Diddy's empire. But in the quiet green fields of Snow Hill, North Carolina, a different kind of hip-hop legacy was born. Marlana Evans, known to the world as Rhapsody, is arguably one of the most respected lyricists of her generation, a woman who went toe-to-toe with Kendrick Lamar and earned the respect of the entire industry without ever selling out her image. But Rhapsody's financial story is about more than just bars. It's about intellectual property and cultural equity. Unlike many artists who sign away their futures for a quick advance, Rhapsody has moved with the strategic patience of a seasoned investor. Under the mentorship of Ninth Wonder, another NC giant, she built a career under the Jamla Records banner, retaining a level of creative and financial control that is rare in the streaming era. Her net worth, estimated in the multi-millions, is bolstered by a touring machine that hits global markets, from South Africa to Europe. But her real asset is her brand integrity. Rhapsody has partnered with major corporations and cultural institutions that want to align with conscious culture. She is a Rock Nation affiliate, placing her in the orbit of the Carters, yet she remains aggressively North Carolinian, investing her time and resources back into the local community. She represents the creative capital of the state, proof that you don't have to move to New York to influence the culture, and you certainly don't have to compromise to get paid. Number 8. Ariana DeBose, the Hollywood powerhouse. If Rhapsody holds down the music front, Ariana DeBose is conquering Hollywood with a Carolina smile. Born in Wilmington and raised in Raleigh and Wake Forest, DeBose is the explosion of talent that happens when North Carolina's arts education meets pure ambition. She didn't just stumble into fame, she trained for it, cutting her teeth at the CC and Company Dance Complex in Raleigh before launching herself onto the Broadway stage. Winning the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress for her role as Anita in West Side Story didn't just give her a gold statue, it fundamentally changed her earning potential for the rest of her life. In Hollywood, an Oscar is a financial multiplier. It opens the door to first-dollar gross deals, massive brand ambassadorships, and production credits. DeBose has leveraged this moment perfectly, moving from stage to screen to voice acting in Disney's Wish, and hosting the Tony Awards. Her wealth is currently in the rapid accumulation phase. She is securing contracts that were previously closed to Afro-Latina queer women. But her connection to North Carolina remains the grounding wire of her story. She represents the state's ability to produce world-class talent that can command 8-figure career earnings. She is the new face of the NC to NYC pipeline, proving that the road to the red carpet runs straight through Wake County. Number 7. Michelle Baker Sanders, the corporate and civic strategist. Wealth is not always about who has the most cash in the bank today. Sometimes, it is about who controls the flow of money for everyone else. Michelle Baker Sanders sits at that intersection of private wealth and public power. A native of Belle Haven, North Carolina, Sanders didn't start in politics. She spent over 30 years climbing the ladder of the biotechnology and pharmaceutical industries, two of the most lucrative sectors in the world. Before she became North Carolina's Secretary of Commerce, Sanders was a high-ranking executive at Biogen, a biotech giant with a massive footprint in the research triangle. In the corporate world, an executive of her stature commands a compensation package that includes heavy stock options, performance bonuses, and a salary that puts her in the top 1% of earners. She knows how the sausage is made because she ran the factory. Now, as the person responsible for the state's economic development, she is orchestrating the deals that are bringing billions of dollars into North Carolina. She is the architect behind the arrival of companies like Apple and Toyota battery manufacturing. While her public service salary is capped, her personal net worth, built on decades of biotech equity, is substantial. She represents the executive class of Black women in North Carolina. Highly educated, corporately tested, and financially independent long before they ever stepped onto a podium. Number 6. The estate of Nina Simone, the eternal royalty of Tryon. We cannot talk about Black wealth in North Carolina without acknowledging the spiritual and financial weight of the High Priestess of Soul. Eunice Kathleen Wayman, known to the world as Nina Simone, was born in Tryon, North Carolina. While she passed away in 2003, her estate remains a generating engine of wealth and cultural capital that continues to benefit her descendants and the state itself. In the music industry, death is often just a tax event, but for legends like Simone, it is the beginning of a legacy business. Her catalog of songs, Feeling Good, I Put a Spell on You, Mississippi Goddamn, are constantly licensed for movies, commercials, and samples by artists like Kanye West and Jay-Z. Each use generates royalties. In recent years, the value of music catalogs has skyrocketed, with investors treating them like gold or real estate. The Nina Simone estate is a multi-million-dollar asset class of its own. But beyond the royalties, there is the physical legacy. Her childhood home in Tryon was recently saved and preserved by 4 contemporary Black artists, turning it into a cultural landmark. This elevates the property value and tourism economy of the region. Nina Simone's wealth was hard-won, fighting through Jim Crow and industry exploitation. But today, her name is a blue-chip stock in the portfolio of Black American culture. She proves that North Carolina doesn't just produce labor, it produces genius that pays dividends forever. Number 5. Dr. Ophelia Garman Brown and the Medical Matriarchs, the healers of the bank account. North Carolina is a global hub for medicine. Between Duke Health, UNC Health, and Atrium Health in Charlotte, the medical economy is the state's lifeblood. Rising to the top of this sector are Black women who have transitioned from practitioners to power brokers. A prime example of this archetype was the late Dr. Ophelia Garman Brown, a physician and executive at Novant Health, who was a titan in the Charlotte community. While Dr. Garman Brown has passed, her lineage of medical matriarchs continues to hold massive sway and wealth. We are talking about women like Dr. Goldie Bird at Wake Forest, a pioneer in Alzheimer's research among African Americans. These women are not just earning doctors' salaries, they are managing multi-million-dollar research grants, sitting on hospital boards, and consulting for pharmaceutical companies. In the research triangle, Black female physicians and researchers are increasingly founding their own private practices and biotech startups. This is intellectual capital, converting into real estate and generational savings. They own the medical parks, they hold the patents, and they influence where the healthcare dollars are spent. They are the quiet millionaires, the ones whose wealth is hidden behind lab coats and board certifications, but whose impact on the economic health of the Black community is immeasurable. Number 4. Maya Angelou, the Winston-Salem legacy, the literary lioness. Like Nina Simone, Maya Angelou was a global citizen, but her roots and her final years were deeply planted in North Carolina soil. The legendary poet, author, and civil rights activist lived in Winston-Salem for decades, where she taught at Wake Forest University. When she passed, she left behind not just a library of masterpieces, but a tangible estate worth tens of millions of dollars. Angelou was one of the first Black women to truly monetize her voice on a global scale. She didn't just write books, she wrote greeting cards for Hallmark, she delivered inaugural poems, she lectured for 5-figure fees, and she owned real estate. Her home in Winston-Salem was a repository of art and African American history. Today, her estate continues to generate massive revenue. I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings is a perennial bestseller, required reading in schools across the planet. Her likeness is on the U.S. quarter, a symbolic nod to her value. For North Carolina, Angelou represents the prestige of the Black intellectual elite. She showed that a Black woman could live in the South, speak her truth, and build a fortune that commands respect from Wall Street to the White House. Number 3. Fantasia Barrino, the Phoenix of High Point. There is no story in North Carolina quite like Fantasia's. Born in High Point, she rose to fame as the winner of American Idol in 2004, her voice a raw, soulful force that felt like it carried the weight of the entire South. But her journey to wealth was not a straight line. It was a roller coaster of massive success, financial ruin, and a triumphant, hard-fought return. In the mid-2000s, Fantasia faced the dark side of sudden wealth, bad contracts, family burdens, and the threat of foreclosure on her Charlotte mansion. The tabloids wrote her off. But North Carolina women are built different. Fantasia didn't fold. She reinvented. She took her talents to Broadway, starring in The Color Purple, and toured relentlessly, rebuilding her fortune brick by brick. Today, Fantasia is back on top, with a net worth estimated in the range of $5 to $10 million, and climbing. Her starring role in the 2023 film adaptation of The Color Purple was a full-circle moment that re-established her Hollywood bankability. She has launched her own wine brand, owns significant real estate, and manages her career with a new level of financial literacy and control. Fantasia is the new money that learned from old money mistakes. She is the embodiment of resilience, proving that you can lose it all and make it back double, as long as you never lose your voice. Number 2. Pastor Shirley Caesar, the Gospel Empress of Durham. If you want to see what old money looks like in the Black community of North Carolina, you go to church. And at the head of that table sits the First Lady of Gospel, Pastor Shirley Caesar. Born and raised in Durham, Shirley Caesar is not just a singer. She is an institution. With a career spanning 7 decades, 11 Grammy Awards, and over 40 albums, she is one of the most successful gospel artists in history. But do not mistake her for just a choir singer. Shirley Caesar is a CEO. She has navigated the music industry since the 1950s, a time when Black artists were routinely robbed of their royalties. Caesar, however, learned the business early. She owns her masters, she runs her touring company, and she has served as a pastor and civic leader in Raleigh for decades. Her net worth is estimated to be over $16 million. This wealth comes from a diversified portfolio: music royalties, including the viral You Name It challenge, which she shrewdly monetized, real estate holdings in the Triangle, and her leadership at Mount Calvary Word of Faith Church. Caesar represents the faith economy, the massive financial power of the Black church in the South. She lives in a sprawling estate in North Raleigh, drives luxury cars, and gives back millions to the community. She is the matriarch of North Carolina wealth, a woman who built a kingdom on faith and business acumen. Number 1. Janice Bryant Howroyd, the billionaire from Tarboro. And finally, we arrive at the summit. The richest Black woman from North Carolina and one of the richest self-made women in the entire world is Janice Bryant Howroyd. Born in Tarboro, North Carolina, during the height of segregation, Janice was one of 11 children. She attended a segregated school and learned the value of a dollar from her father and mother. She faced racism that would have broken most people, but she used it as fuel. With just $900 in her pocket, including a loan from her mother, she moved to California and started a business in the back of a rug shop. That business was the Act One Group. Today, Actone is a global employment and management empire with presence in over 30 countries and annual revenues exceeding $1 billion. Janice Bryant Howroyd is the first African-American woman to build and own a billion-dollar company. Let that sink in. Not an entertainer, not an athlete, but a B2B titan who helps other companies find talent. While she operates globally, her North Carolina roots are the core of her identity. She is a graduate of North Carolina A&T State University, the largest HBCU in the country, located in Greensboro. She has donated millions back to the university, endowing scholarships and building infrastructure. She returns to the state frequently, investing in mentorship and business programs. Her net worth is estimated at over $600 million personally, with her company valued in the billions. She owns real estate across the globe, flies private, and sits on boards appointed by U.S. presidents. But when she speaks, you still hear Tarboro. You still hear the grit of a North Carolina girl who refused to be defined by her circumstances. Janice Bryant Howroyd is the blueprint. She is the proof that a Black woman from a small town in North Carolina can conquer the global economy. She is the richest Black woman from North Carolina. From the coffee shops of Raleigh to the billion-dollar boardrooms of Actone, these women tell a story of unstoppable ascension. North Carolina is no longer just a backdrop for history. It is the engine of the future. These women have taken the legacy of the South, the land, the faith, the struggle, and transmuted it into power. They remind us that wealth is not just about accumulation, it's about impact. It's about Rhapsody owning her masters. It's about Fantasia owning her story. It's about Janice Bryant Howroyd owning the whole damn building. They are the queens of the new Black Mecca, and they are just getting started. Which of these Carolina queens inspired you the most? Did we miss a local mogul from your city? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the hidden geography of Black wealth. We'll see you in the next one.